you get it? Is it on?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another, episode, time, whatever the hell we do.
Episode 937, subsection B.
With Ed and Aaron. So let's start off. Let's just get this right off.
You haven't told me about this all day. You said you got something.
No, I got to tell you, but first,
okay.
Let's do the breaking news. What's the breaking news, Aaron?
Dun, 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 dun. I believe the breaking news is, and I'm thinking you teed it up. I'm thinking the breaking news is the expansion has been started, completed, got going over in Arizona. The Ogre Network has expanded officially to Arizona. Got some agents over there and looking to add some more.
Yep, and looking to grow that market. And you are going to get licensed to be in that market.
Oh, Zinga. Yep. Finish Unit 2 today.
There we go.
Boom. 27 more units to go.
God.
It's a wild situation.
I got my Florida one, and it was I remember the delay in getting that done.
So with what I find interesting, listen, and rightfully so. I'm not throwing any shade at the Arizona licensing and state requirements, but if I read it correctly, the reciprocity, the Worcestershire sauce of it goes. It won't take your reciprocity and your licensing from another state and move it unless you're like a resident there. So people like myself who live here, resident in Nevada, but looking to expand and have a license there, you got to take the 96 hours of actual classes and stuff.
A
lot of hours. And so, but what I have realized though, obviously it's been years since I've taken the one here. I guess you kind of take for granted a little bit, like, some old school stuff. Like, I don't know. It's almost like a good refresher. Obviously, we have to do our post licensing. We have to do our continuing education, which kind of keeps you up to date.
Right.
But going through all this again just reminds me of the studying and going into my licensing exam here. And it's like, it brings up things like repertorial rights and literatorial, like water rights and stuff. And the words ring a bell. And you're just like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Never had that come up one time here in Nevada, but it's like talking about today, it's like real property versus personal property, which I think is a great topic because I do think sometimes there's a lot of confusion on what is real property versus personal property and can one thing be personal property and be put into real property. So it's got some cool stuff. And it even got into something where it's like, annual crops are actually like if you sell the property, but you're in the middle of a harvest season and you're the one that started the harvest, you actually have rights to go back and harvest your agricultural needs or whatever you're harvesting for that season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm sure there's more to it, but that was like the broad scope of it. So there's some interesting stuff going on. There's, exercising the old noodle up there.
Like, Mercy was doing something on the computer today, and I'm like, hey, stop. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, there's a meme. Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like, hey.
That's kind of funny, though. Have you ever done that, though? Like, when you're telling somebody about something, or like you're calling one of your kids, right. Like, hey, I need you to get the thing. It's over there by the place. I set it down on top of the thing. She's like, that gives me nothing.
Right.
But like, yeah, so you're like in your head is making sense. But I put it over there by the one thing, it's there.
Brandon and Amanda, they love to tell me when I say stuff like that. Use your words, Dad. Use your words. Because I forget to use my words. So, now let's go into what I've been teeing up all day that you didn't know.
Okay, yeah. I was like, tell me about it. You're like, no. What do we got?
So, yesterday, we had a career night event here.
We did.
And actually a pretty good turnout. So, one of the team leaders asked me for our team to be here to talk to people and kind of let them know about getting into real estate, what it was like and stuff like that. So I did that. But you said that you could not stay because your daughter and your wife were at a soccer tournament.
True. Facts.
So they left. Facts. So you had to leave early to pick up the boys.
To go home and take a nap. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Well, we're not going to say that. Pick up the boys and do the guy stuff.
Yep.
So I ran around. I had something to do before. We had a signing. We came back. I sit down and I start working. And I'm sitting next to another agent. Mm-hmm. So as I'm talking to this one agent, I hear him say to somebody, "Hey, I'm only going to be here for probably another 5-10 minutes. Then I'm going to Aaron's event."
Oh, nice.
And the agent he was talking to looks at me and goes, and because I just instantaneously turn and go, "What Aaron event?"
I got some stuff going on, bro. Moving and
like,
shaking. I got some
and he's
underground stuff.
And he's like, "The broker open at the $1 million property?"
Yeah, hey, that's how I roll.
And I'm like, "Oh, that Aaron." And I was like, "Okay." And Martin looks at me and goes, "You look kind of scared that Aaron was doing something I didn't tell you." I'm like, "I didn't think that would happen."
Listen,
but it was just like, what the?
Maybe it's something, just working something behind the scenes, and then once I get it dialed in, I'm going to bring it to the team and show them, like, hey, guys, it's been a secret passion project of mine. No, but that wasn't the case. My event was
sleeping on your
baseball practice and baseball game.
Right.
Those were my events. So you guys are all more than welcome to come to those events. They're watching 9 and 10-year-olds play baseball. It's always fun. It's always fun.
It's exciting.
It was. We had a nail biter last night.
Did you?
We pulled it off in the last inning. We won 9-8, but it was a nail biter.
Yesterday was opening day in MLB.
Yeah, it was. Which? Okay, wait a minute.
Who was the hottest pitcher last year? They got all the notoriety, probably because of his girlfriend. But
Skeens.
Right. He started yesterday for the first time.
Yeah.
Youngest pitcher to start for the Pirates.
On opening day? There was a lot of firsts yesterday.
And he took an L.
Ooh.
Against the Miami Marlins.
Oh, they walked him off like in the last inning. I got a walk-off home run or a double or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, he pitched 5 3/4, I think, and then they bounced
When
him.
he left, was he winning?
I don't think so. I think he got the loss.
Well, I guess if he got the L, he would have been losing when they pulled him out.
I think he got the L.
There was a couple. Okay, let's stay on that for a minute. I saw last night when I was watching some Sports Center catching up, I did see there was 2 other firsts or long-time events that happened yesterday. Two notoriety events.
Okay.
Any idea what they were?
I have no idea.
First of all, the Yankees, for the first time, I think, ever, or since like 1805 BC, AD, whatever, it's like they had their catcher was their leadoff hitter.
Okay.
They started, not only did that happen, also led off the game. Well, I guess they were home. So the bottom of the first with a home run. So it was like the first time ever that the Yankees had on opening, it's one of those stats on a Tuesday, between 11 and 11:15 on a fastball on a 2-0 count, but no, Wells went deep as a leadoff catcher for the Yankees and put him on the board first.
Nice.
Now, that's like a history that you like to be
part of.
However, there's always the flip side. There's always the flip side.
What was the flip side?
I believe he was on the Brewers. I could be wrong. Brewer fans, let me know.
The Brewers lost.
There was a dude that went 0 for 5 on opening day with 5 strikeouts.
Wow.
Rough day. And they said it's like it hadn't been done in like, I don't know how many godly years, 60 years or something. In the last 2 years or 3 years, it's happened twice. But yeah, that guy found himself on the
wrong side.
Unnoteworthy things that are happening on opening day.
So who's the guy that jumped over across town in New York?
Juan Soto.
So Juan Soto, I think, grounded to got a first.
Got a first? He got a first?
He got a single in like the first inning or something.
Yep. And everybody's like, yeah, here we go. That's why we paid him.
That's why we paid him.
Yep.
And then in the 9th.
This is why we pay him. You come up in this spot with the tying runs on, or I think it was tying runs on.
Tying run on, he was the winning run.
Yep, that's why you pay him.
And what did he do?
Strike 3. The old hater sweeper and just buried him.
You know that New York Yankee fans are like, that's what you got.
Listen, if you're a Yankees fan, and they're rough, they're brutal.
They are. Yankee fans are horrible.
So I got to imagine they were. Not only did they win, but watch that game end that way. You got to imagine they were pretty pumped.
And the bad thing is, in New York, they are the team. Even though the Mets play there, New York's still popular. The Yankees are the popular team.
Yeah. And I was listening to something. I don't know if it was this morning in the office or something. It's like, it said, I don't think Soto is the best player in baseball, but they still do believe someone his opinion was he's the best hitter in baseball, which he could be. I mean, the guy's nasty, but
Well,
I think he's gonna find out fast. He probably.
well, see, I have a couple of opinions on this.
Ooh.
So, do you think that he left the Yankees
Yes, I do think he left the Yankees.
because the competition was too stiff to go to the Mets? Because he goes to the Mets, he's by far the best hitter. And if he stays on the Mets, if he stays on the Yankees, he's got two big dogs there. He's got to compete with Giancarlo and Aaron Judge.
Right.
I mean, like, you're not clearly the best.
Okay.
You're in a rotation of the best.
But here again, it goes into real estate, teams, all that stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay, and it's like, what took place? And again, I could be completely wrong here, but looking from the outside in, I think it's an ego decision.
100%.
I think he wants to be the highest paid baseball player. Like everybody wants more than the next guy. Well, if you got $12, I want $13. You
Right.
got 13. Well, I'm going to hold out till I get 14, right? It's always me, 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 me. And I think the Mets have assembled some decent teams on paper in the past. But it's like your chances to win a championship, I got to assume, were better staying with the Yankees than moving over to the Mets. And so then it becomes is like you see agents jumping brokerages. You see them jumping teams. Or I'm going to be a solo agent because I want more because I've been a part of 4 deals over here.
Right.
I'm not the shining star, but look I'm part of these deals. Like the Yankees won, so that makes I'm good, right? No, the team, the chemistry, like whatever. There's always that big picture, and so I don't know. And then I was reading something along those lines where Josh Allen, I think, took a deal, and again, I'm clickbait material, right? I think he took less money than he could have went out and garnered on the free agent market to stay in Buffalo. He's like, I got more money than I can still spend, right? Like my kids are gonna be fine,
Right?
But I'm a Buffalo guy. Like this is my team, this is my squad. So that begs the question: is like, where does that balance come in? It's like some of these guys are just. And I get it. The money is great. Like, don't get me wrong. I wish I had those kind of contracts. And it's easy to say from sitting here talking about it. But I'm like, man, if I had the opportunity to play for the dream team that I want to be on, the opportunity to win a champ. I mean, isn't that ultimately you want it? Those purists, they want the ring. I want a World Series championship.
Right.
Like, I want that. So you got $892 billion to go to the Mets. Like, what's wrong with taking like $804 billion to stay with the Yankees, right? Like, you're good. I don't know.
See, I look at that. There was an incident that happened yesterday at our brokerage. Mm-hmm. Not a bad incident, just an incident. Something's going to happen.
Breaking news, dun dun dun. No. I thought you were going to break the case on somebody.
So there's something was going to happen, and they asked me, "Hey, are you going to participate?" Right, and I'm like, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to participate this time." And they said, "Okay, well, we kind of like when you're involved in it because you're a voice piece. You talk to people about it. You get people involved.
You're an influencer, bro.
Right.
Hashtag influencer.
I'm getting Blue Angels right around the corner.
I was about to say Blue Angels. There I go.
Right around the corner. Right around the corner.
So close.
So then I wasn't completely on board with it. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, let's do this. Let's bring it to a vote to our ALC. Mm-hmm. And they were like,
which is a group of
it's the Agent Leadership Council, so it's the top 20% of the agents in our market center that are supposed to help regulate the rules and what gets done in our market to help the agents succeed and become successful.
And there's how many people are on that?
19, I believe.
So you basically said, okay, let's take it to these 19.
Let's take it to the 19 of which I'm part of.
Okay.
Let's take it there. Let everybody get a vote. Regardless of the outcome, I'm in.
Fair.
And they said, okay, what if it doesn't go your way? I'm in. I will participate. I will do whatever I have to do because I'm giving you my word that is a thing. So the question is, do I take the ego route and say, hey, I know you guys want me involved, So we're gonna do it my way, or
And this is
I'm
what's
not
going to
gonna do
cost
it.
you $892 billion, like just like
Right,
Soto's contract.
right. It's gonna cost you, and you're gonna do it my way, or do I take the what I feel is the right way and say, okay, let's bring it to a vote. If everybody else is on board and I'm the only one not, then I'll do what I have to do and put
Right.
my stuff to the side and do what's needed for the betterment of everybody.
I mean, ultimate team player right there.
That's it. And that's what I think. I think Soto would have gained so much more respect from a bunch of people if he would have said, you know what, you're offering me $10 billion less. I'm going to stay with you guys because I want to win a ring for you, New York. He would have been, I don't think he would have been captain grade, but he would have been up there in the lore of Yankees. Because they would have been like, oh, dude, this guy stayed, took a little bit less money. He just wants to win a ring. And then if he actually wins a ring, he'll be a hero.
I mean, and you got that lineup. I mean, I watched because that game was televised yesterday, and I watched some of the people that came through there. And I mean, there's some veterans in the lineup for sure. You know, like you got your Goldschmidt, you got your Bellinger, but you got your Volpe and your Wells, and you got your obviously your Judge and stuff like that. But it's like, boy, oh boy, it's like that would have been something to have add him in that lineup. I mean, short of the Dodgers paying for every player on the planet. I mean, like, but okay. So now you continue that route, and now you go to the Yankees' arch rival, biggest rival. I think if you want to call New York, the rival.
Boston.
But you go to Boston. You got Rafael Devers, who's a perennial all-star third baseman for them, right? But then they signed Bregman. Right?
Who's another
all-star, perennial world champion third baseman.
baseman.
And so now, it's just kind of like real estate. It's like, okay, will you bring on another superstar agent that maybe is also good at commercial or also good at residential or specializes in this market? Like, how can we work together to make this team better? How can we work together to make this lineup better? Boston tells Devers, like, listen, I know you've been here. I know you've been our third baseman. However, moving forward, we're moving you into the full-time DH role. So now he's got the option to be like, F this noise.
Right.
I'm going to be a pain in the butt all season. I'm going to cause problems because that's my spot. How dare you take it from me? Or does he go the route that says, hey, great, man. I'm still freaking hitting 3-4 on the Boston Red Sox. And now we got to say, hey, listen, dude, we're on the same team, bro. We got a stud, young, I mean, Devers is a good fielding third baseman, but so is Bregman. But it's like, it's like, how do you adapt to those roles on your team? And everybody, just staying in their lane and doing their job, you have this well-oiled machine, and that's where you see like the Diamondbacks from a couple of years ago. You didn't have any real big household names. You had Ketel Marte, right? But besides that, it's not like it was littered with your Judges, your going to Stantons, your Sotos, your Machados, all these big names. It was a bunch of ragtag dudes that were just dirtbag ball players. And I mean that in a good way, that were just grinders, right? And then you go into like a real estate team, you got your residential, you got your commercial, you got your referral agents, you got your transaction coordinator, you got your marketing department. And if we all just want to be me, things get left to the side. We don't do the best job for our clients. We don't or put on the best show, like for in this case, baseball. And it's like, man, if everybody would just put their ego aside and do what take care of their responsibility, how much more volume could we do? How many more families could we help? But it's just people want that notoriety.
I was talking to somebody about that today, right? And everybody's looking for. Let's stay in the real estate world, right? Everybody in the real estate world it's a me world, right? Everybody wants to know what's going on. And everybody wants their name and lights, and everybody wants this. And I think I do a pretty decent job, and you do too. I think we both, as leaders of the organization, I think we both do a really good, a really decent job of not letting our personal egos get in the way of anything, right? Because somebody was talking to me about today, and I was like, yeah, because Sierra pretty much handles all of the database and talking to the people and getting the smart plan set up and getting everybody done on these. And she's asking, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, do what you're doing. Like that's, and they're like, really? You don't direct it? I'm like, that's not my forte. It hasn't been my forte ever. So why would I all of a sudden jump in her world? That's her world. She loves to do that. So why would I jump in her world and be like, hey, I'm going to show you a better way to do it? No, I don't know how to better way to do it.
Well, and it goes back to our book club. what I don't remember. Oh, the who not how, right? So it goes back to, it's like, find things you're not good at and bring people in to handle that. So like, what good is it for you or for the team for you to bring in somebody to be like, hey, I'm bringing you in because you are really good at follow up, that client relationship, that smart plan, that follow up,
Right.
but I'm still gonna oversee it all. Well, no, like, that's why you brought them in, right? Like, you bring somebody in to handle that. It's not like, like, hey, I'm going to bring you in to be the pitcher, but I'm going to do most of the pitching. Like, we're just going to put your name, like, in the rotation. Like, just,
Right.
like, no, like, that frees you up to do more time. That frees us up to handle more business. And, like, yes, are there going to be check-ins just to report back so that we're all on the same page? Like, yeah, you've got to have that.
Right.
But it's like, if I have to come here and oversee or micromanage you doing this job, then one, I've made a bad hire, because doing that whole who not how is bringing on other people to help free up your time to go do more things.
But you know what's funny though, is I believe that a lot of the people we have on the team are not ego driven.
Oh,
And I'll
really?
give you an example, like Sierra. Well, I'll bring her up again, right? She ran her own team. She had her own team. So for whatever reason, she chose to want to help and be part of this. And like when we were talking the other day about, hey, we're going to implement these standards and the reporting, she's like, oh, I'm so excited about that. She called me on Tuesday because we were supposed to have the meeting this week. She literally texted me on Tuesday and is like, hey, I never got an invite for the team meeting. Are we having it this week? I'm like, no, we moved it for a week. Sorry about that. You'll get they're going on today or tomorrow. She's like, oh, okay, I thought I missed it. That's somebody who already ran a team that really could be the opposite and not be a team player and say, hey, I'm not going to participate in any of this tracking stuff and all that stuff. I'll just do what I do. I mean, she closed $1 million deal today. So shout out to her. So it's that, right? And I was in the car with Scott, who's another guy, ran his team in California, decided to join our team here in Nevada, and he's in our team in Arizona. And he heard me talking to somebody on the car ride yesterday when we were looking at properties here. And he sends me a text. He's like, hey, am I going to be in that tracking stuff too? I'm like, yeah, of course. He's like, all right, good. And then set me up. Can you set up the meeting you're going to have via Zoom as well? So I'm part of it. I'm like, of course, we'll send you a link. So it's funny that people who've already run teams that understand the logic behind real estate and understand how to grow business and how to do that are the ones that are not at all chiming back about, I don't want to do this, or this is dumb, or this doesn't make any sense. They're all the ones that are like, yeah, I want to make sure I'm in.
Well, and it totally makes sense, sticking with the whole, like, Soto thing, right? It's like, who doesn't dream, like, of a little boy, like, man, wearing the pinstripes of the Yankees or Dodger blue, like the tradition, the nostalgia of big market
Kansas
teams
City
like
Royal.
Listen,
That was a team. Big Red was a team back in the day. Those were teams back in the day.
Okay, fair enough.
Why are you laughing at the Kansas City Royals?
And it doesn't even matter. One of my good buddies is a big Royals fan. But okay, but that's
What if
your
Braxton goes to the Royals?
Oh, he's in the MLB. Like,
you've been the biggest Royals
you
fan
give me
ever.
a $10 check, I'll play for any team on the planet, right? But that just goes back to, at what cost is it? Like, let's just say you have the opportunity to have a good career and maybe you're in the middle of it, right? And so you've obviously done well, you've made some money, and you have the option, you're looking at things, it's like, okay, I could take more money, make it about me, and go to a team that maybe doesn't have the notoriety, the record, the tradition of being a perennial powerhouse, right? Like you don't go to this team to win a championship,
Right.
but that's where the money is, right? Like, so running your own team, like, yeah, you can maybe make a higher pay or whatever, because you can set it however you want because you're the running the team. Or do you say, like, man, I've always dreamt of being a Royal or
Right.
Dodger blue or whatever the case may be, and now you're like, well, man, I can go there. I can be part of something great. I can be part of this vision of winning something and be a part of something great. I may have a lesser role. Maybe I'm batting 8th. Bro, you're still in the MLB lineup, right? Like, I play left field, but they have a right field spot. Okay, but I get to play for the Angels, the D-backs. You know what I mean? So it's like, at what point does that sway? And as crazy as it sounds, it's not always about money. And and who knows? We don't know what Soto's deal was, but obviously
Right.
$897 billion to go play is huge, right? But it's like,
Did he really
man,
make $897 billion?
no, but it was ridiculous.
I was
right?
like, come on.
It's too much for a game of baseball. That's all I know. My 9-year-olds were playing the same game last night for free for a chance to get,
That cost you $300 a month.
that I pay for, and they wanted to get a churro at the snack shed. Like, right? I'm trying to sling sunflower seeds and churros as signing bonuses, and he's making $892 billion, right? Like, to play the same game my kids are playing, which is amazing.
Right.
But it's like, like that whole thing is that, I think, I'm not speaking for Sierra or anything, but it's like, she saw something. She saw the culture, and the winning environment, the name on the leaderboard. And, again, like saying, like, that's something I could be a part of. And maybe on the grand, like the overall, like the perception is like, wow, why would you go to a team when you can run your own team? When you run your own team, you are the boss. You're the blah, 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 right? Like, but maybe you do more volume as being part of a higher producing team because you have more systems, you have more, things in place to handle that. And, I think there's something said. And, I'll tell you what, we have a lot of fun on our team, and there's a reason where we are on the board, and we continue. People keep like, oh man, yeah, I'm slow right now. Like, how are you guys? Like, sorry, man, I'm not trying to be an a-hole, but pretty busy, like.
We're doing stuff.
I don't know, man. To each their own, right? But I think there's the value in not always chasing the money.
Right. No, definitely. Definitely, I think that chasing the money, most times, chasing the money is not the right answer. Mm-hmm. Right? So, now that
it's more of a Band-Aid in some cases.
Right. So, we know we're real estate. We expanded into Arizona. So, now we're in Florida, Arizona, and Nevada. I frustrated my son the other day because he asked me, how do you pronounce it? I said, Nevada. He's like, I am not talking to you ever again. It's in Nevada.
I definitely say Nevada.
You say Nevada? I say Nevada. But Nevada. I know that's how it's pronounced.
Nevada.
But whatever.
Nevada sounds dumb. Nevada. How do you say it? Nevada.
It's-
Nevada. Hey, Edo Rossi, Nevada. Real estate agent. Is that how you say it? Is that how you do it? You do, dude. You totally do. Where you from? Las Vegas, Nevada.
Stupid. So, did you see any of the interview
No.
of LeBron with Pat McAfee?
No, I just heard you telling me about it yesterday.
So I'm going to tell you.
We got a wild situation brewing.
I will tell you that, you know what, his beef with Stephen A. and his beef with how people cover the NBA and his beef with how people talk to Bronny and like all that aside.
This is the epitome of I'm taking my ball and going home.
Basically. But what really irked me when I saw it this morning, the biggest,
Is his receding hairline?
No, he got that fixed.
Oh, he did? Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh,
He did
there
years
you go.
ago.
There you
So, do you follow a lot of like the basketball pundits? Okay. So I listen to them all the time because they're
Does Larry Bird still play? No, he's out.
Shut up.
I did see an awesome video though yesterday about how they're like, if you ever had any doubts of Michael Jordan being the greatest basketball player, watch this video. Some of the stuff that guy could do.
Oh, it's incredible.
Like he was like floating in one of the videos. I was like, bro, that's not even right.
Stephen A. actually went at LeBron and said, "You're just mad because I'm not kissing the ring and I refuse to kiss the ring. Let's start comparing stats." And he started going down the line of Jordan versus LeBron, and he's like, "You can't even hold the guy's bag, like you can't. You can't. Numbers wise, statistic wise, you cannot."
And listen, I don't disagree.
So I was like, all right, no, I'm totally on Jordan camp.
Okay.
But one of the guys that since LeBron went into the NBA has been a LeBron supporter.
Okay.
And has always, get it to the point where I always hear him talk about LeBron, and it annoys me to hear his voice.
Okay. This guy is pro LeBron.
Pro. I can't say on the airways what I say that this guy does.
Woo! Gives him
when
a
he talks
hug.
about LeBron.
He kisses his poster.
He's holding on to his jockstrap.
Whoa!
Yes.
Now it's a party.
Now it's a party.
Okay.
And it's Brian Windhurst.
Oh.
super great analyst for ESPN. He's really good. I liked his takes on a lot of stuff. But I've always said he was way too pro LeBron for me.
Okay.
And he just covered LeBron since high school, so he knows.
Okay.
And LeBron was bagging on him, saying that he was going around telling people that he was LeBron's best friend. He has never, ever said that. But he's a LeBron supporter. That alone takes you out of the GOAT conversation, dude. Take your basketball and go home, bro. Yeah. He got some guy kicked out of an LA Lakers game because a guy used a slang from a meme. Said, "Boy, you doing good. Boy, you doing good." And he heard him. He goes, turns around to the guy, goes, "Watch the game. I'm a 40-year-old man with 3 kids." And then he got the guy kicked out in the third quarter. Dude, Jordan has never done anything like that.
I don't see Kobe doing that either.
Kobe would never do that, dude. So why would we put this guy on the group of elite athletes that don't act like little crybabies?
I don't know. Maybe we should get him on to talk about it.
I wouldn't even want him on.
Whoa, hog washing potatoes.
I wouldn't.
You're telling me if we
I
get
would
LeBron...
be the first person to turn him down. I would make more news, get more headlines, and I would get more people. We would go viral for saying no to him.
Hey,
and
Ed,
you know,
Ed, this is LeBron. Yeah, I want to come on the podcast. I want to talk to all 83 of your viewers. No, ma'am.
We good.
We good. I love it.
But you know who would call next when they heard I said no?
Who's that?
Jordan. He like, "Hey, can I come on?" I'd be like, "Jordan,
I don't think he's
come
calling
on
next.
back. Come on back, Air. You can talk all you want."
I don't think he's calling next. I don't think he's calling next.
He'd be calling next just because we said no.
I mean, we might get Jordan Schnitzer on, but I don't know if it's Michael Jordan. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta tell you what that guy did.
What did he do?
My buddy, great at what he does. All-time top Sun Devil, top personal injury attorney in town. We're playing them last night in baseball.
Oh, he was on.
Yeah,
he was on the opposing team.
Yeah. And so it's basically like a lot of our friends against each other last night.
Oh, because you guys are the Summerlin crew.
Yeah, we are. That's how we roll. And he parked next to me. And so the wrap's on the truck again, right? He takes a picture of it, and he takes his finger, and he, like, draws, like, a mustache on my face. And then he puts, like, this air bubble up, and he's like, "I love the White Sox." Because that's their team. So we're the Yankees this year, and there's the White Sox. And he texts it from me from, like, to the parking lot. I'm like, "You son of a gun." I'm like, "Well played, sir. Well played."
Did you win?
We won. We won by one. It was...
You should have taken a picture of the meme and changed it up and been like, I used to love the Red Sox.
I missed an opportunity. No, we held on. It was a good back and forth game. A little give and take. It came down to we were up by 1 in the last inning. Our pitcher struck the first guy out. Then Beckham was playing catcher. Guy hits a swinging bunt. Dude, he pops out from behind the plate. It's like 2 feet in front. Pops out, bare hands it, and throws the guy out at first base as a 9-year-old. He's
awesome.
And, like, obviously we know all the guys on the other team. Even they were just like, dude, Beckham, like, stop. Like, that was a good play. It was fun. It was fun to see, like, you know, they had some good success. We had some good success. But it's one of those games where you're just like, it's hard because, like, you obviously don't want to lose the game. But it's all your buddies. I'm coaching against my friends, and they're having a good time. And, yeah, it was a fun game. But, yeah, that little turd graffitied my truck.
Last thing. Yesterday was the anniversary of Bo Jackson's throw.
Oh, from the outfield wall all the way to home?
From the warning track all the way to home.
That guy's a monster.
So the guy that he got out.
Bo knows.
The guy that he got out, he says it. He's like, I saw him and I'm like, oh, I can outrun this guy because it has to.
Wasn't it like Harold Baines or Harold? What was it?
It was Harold Wright, I think it was, or something. Whatever. So he threw him and he thought, oh, you're gonna have to get a cutoff and then get to home. I can outrun that for sure. And the catcher had moved out of his scope, and then all of a sudden he sees the catcher go back in, and he's like, oh, this catcher's coming back in to bait me into sliding to slow it down or whatever. I didn't think he had the ball. He's like that, and he was for 20 years. I thought I was safe, And I like 5-6 years ago, I decided to look at it and slow it down, and yeah, I wasn't even close. He threw me out. He was, but you want to hear the funniest thing of the whole story? After he throws it and they get him out, Bo Jackson in the outfield starts adjusting his shirt. It wasn't his shirt. He torqued so hard that he tore his jockstrap.
Oh, I did not know that. That's hilarious.
They talked about it.
Man.
And he's like, the torque was, so what he was doing was trying to adjust himself in the outfield because he couldn't do anything. That's how bad of a torque it was that it tore it.
I'll tell you what. One, I don't even think they sell jock straps anymore. Two, I might tear mine too if I don't lose a little weight. Me and Bo Jackson might have different problems.
For different reasons.
For different reasons. Oh, man.
So you have a nice transaction coming up soon.
We do. We got some clients. We're
When
gonna
is it?
close. Well, hopefully, we're gonna close this one up in the next week or two and put them in a very luxurious, beautiful home.
And you have another guy coming down and looking for, and then now you just got another one.
No, yeah, just sticking to the process, staying out there, keeping the referrals alive, being good at what we do, and
Enjoy the
it's
process.
that whole team effort. It's like I mean, how often do I call you or text you like, hey, like just making sure we're all on the same page, or hey, like I want to make sure we do this right, or hey, what do you think about this? Like you came in the other day, I was like, hey man, I'm working with one of our agents about this, and you're like, okay. Then like 20 seconds later, you're like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. Zoop, zoop, zop, zoop, zoop, zoop. And I was like, dude, homeboy straight playing chess up here while we're playing checkers. But that's the beauty of our team, right? Like,
Right.
no ego to be like, hey man, like I'm thinking about this. These are my thoughts or my questions you have. How would you handle it? And you're like, okay, good question. Yeah, we could go this way. Not like, have we thought about this though? And it's like, no, actually we haven't. But that's the beauty
you've done
of
that
it,
too. Where I said, hey,
sure.
I'm thinking about this, and you're like, well, what about this? Like today, we're writing up the new forms for the team and stuff, and I'm like, hey, and you're like, hey, you know what? I think this should be changed. I think you should add this. Like we work together.
And I think that's the beauty in like the environment that we promote. And I think that's why you have agents like Sierra. People that can and have done.
Scott
can and has done, that want to be part of something because they know that they can be part of something on, I wouldn't say ground floor, but like where we're starting into where we want to go with it.
Yep.
So I like it, buddy.
All right, brother. Have a great one.